All right, this video is about ultra-wide lenses. Ultra-wide as opposed to wide, it's kind of a strange term. 35 millimeters, like this right here, what you're seeing is known as a wide angle lens, believe it or not. An ultra-wide would be much wider. In fact, it's so wide it kind of distorts it. It actually makes things that aren't that far away look way further off in the distance. Ultra-wide lenses, this is an ultra-wide, this is a 10 millimeter right here, 10 to 20 millimeter. Ultra-wide lenses are usually used for, mostly for interior, for real estate photography. If you're trying to shoot a room, you know, you usually have to use some form of ultra-wide. Most people really weren't familiar with ultra-wides until iPhone 11 came out. They finally started putting these things in smartphones, which is why the iPhone 11 that I'm shooting this on right now excited me so much, because it was the first iPhone that had an ultra-wide lens, which allowed us to start shooting real estate listings, you know, and it would be the same focal length, the same perspective that is industry standard for real estate. So also, like a fisheye lens is technically an ultra-wide. Fisheye is extreme though. It's got the curled, it's got the distorted edges, you know, so it distorts things. And so it's not technically classified as an ultra-wide, it's more classified as a fisheye. But the best way I can describe what an ultra-wide is, like the effect it does, first off, it'll make rooms look a lot bigger than they are. So if you're ever trying to make something, make a room look bigger, that's definitely a good way to do it. Also, just so you understand what the effect does, like, you know, in like a rear view mirror of your car, it'll say objects in mirror are closer than they appear. That's the same effect that is happening when you use an ultra-wide lens. Like, you can make things look really far off, and sometimes it can be really useful for filmmaking. For example, I see it used a lot in like YouTube videos when it's someone like hitting a baseball or kicking a soccer ball, or if they shoot like with a really ultra-wide lens and they're really close to the subject, like say we're like hitting kicking a soccer ball or something way off. It's really interesting how, like, when the subject kicks the ball, you can make it look like it's way off, you know, like way out there. So I've seen that used creatively in like viral YouTube videos where they can make it look like someone threw a football like out of a stadium or something. You know, it's like you can use that distorted effect to do things creatively as well. So that's just what an ultra-wide lens does and why you use them a lot. The other advantage of an ultra-wide, what I love to use them for, is like doing like videos when you're walking, when you're trying to get what an ultra-wide, what the perspective really does is it gives you a very similar perspective to human eyesight. You know, like right now I can see 180 degrees, you know. That's the use of it, is like if you're ever trying to do a point of view, like you're trying to do a walk through a property or something, if you shoot with an ultra-wide lens and just walk, it really feels like you're walking through the house in person. Whereas if you were on just a mid-range wide like this or a telephoto, it wouldn't be the same perspective. And also what's so great about ultra-wide is you can do those walk shots, and because it's so wide, it doesn't show vibration as much. Really huge advantage to that, and that's why if you're ever trying to do POV, you know, you can just handheld with the camera. You know, you can just walk with it, and it's really smooth. You don't need those, you know, ridiculous gimbals or whatever. If you're shooting with an ultra-wide lens, you know, you really don't need one of those stabilizers, gimbals. That's a huge advantage. Why you should use ultra wide lenses, but also, just understand how to use them, and how they can benefit your productions.